Good morning, good morning. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I'm just watching the Bitcoin move on another chart here. We're about to break below a very important level from September. I'm curious to see what's going to happen as soon as it touches it or breaks below it and, you know, tests. Doesn't look like we have any economic releases this morning that we need to be aware of during our session. All right, I'll move this around here a little bit. Our daily chart, we've pulled back again. We're approaching our demand line once again. See if maybe we end up touching that today. We've one time straight down though. Each day has gone lower than the previous day and never broken above the high since we kind of had this little reversal pullback pattern. So that's still happening. We finally made it into our box on the hourly chart. Potential setup here. If this ends up closing up, we could create a nice inside reversal on the, this won't form though till 11, so depending on how the open goes and stuff, this may give a decent signal on the hourly chart. So we're just kind of in this previous zone again, channeling down after a nice spike down. Kind of the context we're going into today with. We had a two-legged pullback here, but it fired off a beautiful failure candle and then created a new high, then went lower. Visually, like just taking out the leg count, it looks really, really nice, especially after this like engulf candle. But because the two-leg pullback failed and then it went, I'm curious to see if it does continue to the downside or if we do find buyers relatively quickly and then this was just a flush before the move up. We shall see. So we'll wait to see how we open. We are downtrending. We do have a nice gap down this morning. Like 35-point gap down. All right. Leave it on this chart for now. We are trying to hold. We dipped back below this larger area again. Had somewhat of a buy up candle. We came back down, tested just below that. Now we're getting some buys again. So a little bit of volatility here in this area. Makes sense going into open. See if it can muster up the strength to hold. It's definitely trying. We'll see what the open gives us. It would line up nice with our hourly. Pretty clean downtrend though, so don't want to kind of get baited into a reversal too quick. If it forms really nicely and stuff, we'll kind of change our mindset, but I do like the location, and I do like that it's tried it a few times, and it does line up nice with our hourly. So see if it plays out. Good morning, man. Sorry I wasn't here on Friday. We were going through some big nasty storms, and we had no power. We got big snowstorms this weekend. Although it's already turning to rain and like nastiness and trying to melt it away. How was your trade session on Friday? Nice, right on. I'm going to take some time this afternoon after trading and go through my last month where the trading quite in depth. I'm not super pleased with my performance. There was some nice, like there were some things done right. There were some things that were done pretty poorly. My consistency is lacking big time the last couple weeks. I can feel it. I can see it in my spreadsheets. There's very minimal trading happening. I'm missing too much stuff. So I want to go back through my journal and all my pictures and videos and stuff, and I'm going to try to just grow confidence again. Just review properly. I feel like out of my 3 strategies, there's one out of the 3 strategies that I like how systemized it is with no, it feels very easy to take the trade. There's no thought process. It's very systemized, and I like that. I like how it flows. I know what I'm supposed to do with it. Everything works well for it. I don't care if it wins or loses. It feels good to take the trade every time. The other 2 strategies, though, are too subjective still. I can tell because there's too many situations where I'm like, should I take it or shouldn't I take it? And I have to try to decide. So I need to compare all the best versions of it and all the worst versions of it and try to systemize it just a tiny bit more so that I can feel more confident in just pulling the trigger on it every time and not have to decide if I should or not. I know the feeling is a little bit skewed because the last 2 weeks have been iffy. We had like the really slow time during Christmas, which really kind of flubbed it. Not much trading, and there was some volatility and stuff the last couple days last week that I wasn't able to trade because it was too expensive. So there is a lot of trade days that I wasn't really able to trade for another reason, but still needs to happen. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. I know I won't be here Friday. I have a doctor's appointment in the city, so I have to travel. So I will be away on Friday. So the reversal did not pan out like we were looking for right at the open. We did find continue selling. Yeah, non-emotional sig, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, it's like 3/4 of the way there, but it's just missing that one little thing, you know. Like there's too much subjectivity in it, and I need to remove that a little bit more. So we didn't stop at the top. Try to get focused here. I didn't stop at the top, or the market, the market didn't stop at the top. We didn't really hold the middle either. We attempted. Now we're pushing through. So I kind of anticipate a check below. That's what I would, you know, assume, but we'll see what the market gives. Bitcoin is so close, man, to hitting. We're about to test below like a very critical level from September 20th. I mean, it's going to be a big pain area, in my opinion, if we break below it for people. So I'm very excited to see what happens. Back down to 39,000 Bitcoin. If it breaks below and gets absorbed, I mean, could be good information, but I'm so curious to see if it breaks below, if it'll slide. Like we're gonna get like massive liquidations happening. It's right there, like it's like kissing the level. I want to see it go through it so bad. So even though our opening candle is green, we are one timing to the downside. Pretty good push. I think we are at that level right now. We should be checking below our hourly swing point. We did indeed. Just. So we did get into liquidity on that time frame. We'll see. This little bit of selling in the ES this morning is going to help the Bitcoin sell off. That's for sure. $60,000 contracts in the first 5 minutes. It's pretty big volume. We'll see if it continues. Should look at the next level, I guess, really. We didn't really respect this zone, so Next one's going to be down here. Put a few lines for our top, our bottom. It's a big 2-bar. So there's definitely some profit taking happening here. Went all the way back down, eh? It's not the worst bottom signal, really. Gonna be some more panicking a little bit here if it starts to pop up. See if we get a little bit of accumulation and another test for potential, reversal entry, or if it starts to V, we can potentially get involved in the one-time V, but it's just gonna close as an inside candle. Yep. We gonna close the second inside candle, or are we gonna break above? Oh, got above a little bit here. So some imbalance down here. First pullback. Still big overlapping candles though, so still some indecision. We are slightly making higher lows, but big overlap. No trigger for any low one setups for people yet. So there's the low one entry, just triggered through. Was a pretty strong push, so first pullback could go off a low one. Did we only get one tick below? We did only get one tick below so far. We know there was an imbalance here, so this could be a decent turn point. Let's see if it holds our one tick. Other than the one tick poke, it kind of closed right back in the dead middle of volume. No real entry or anything yet. It's kind of testing again. Yeah, we're still going. Still negativity here. Yes. Yep. Lots of Fed stuff tomorrow. So it is we didn't no V reversal, no nothing like that. The trend is fairly strong. We had a one-time push straight down. The first pullback did hold and we pushed lower. Low one entry. Banged out. No entry for me though. The only way I use my low ones is I mean, if you look at it on this chart, you could maybe call it that, but I need to needs to come off a reversal. So it's the first pullback on, like, we were kind of downtrending at this point, and then we got a little bit of a spike, but I like it to be like if we were downtrending and then it's a snap reversal in the opposite direction, showing like that people are trapped and stuff. We're right to the top of that next next zone. Even though some of these candles on the push down are big overlap or even an inside candle, still never breaking highs. The candle highs are always lower still. Still lots of confidence in this push down. Still quite an imbalance. Pretty close to like a measured move right now too on the first two legs of the day. They're pretty equal. First one I guess is still a little bit bigger. They're almost exactly the same. Then a point or two of each other. We got 10 minutes left in A period and we are at 200K contracts so far. So nice high volume. Lines up nice with the push. Just barely poked into the top of that range. Broke out of our down channel though from the first spike, so that's something. Move got stronger. There's the low one trigger. Yeah, that would be a nice whole number. We're right there, you know. Looks like we're getting a nice reaction off a low one again. Got some walls down there, some block orders at 4,600. Still continued off the low one opportunity. Impressive, really. 2 low ones that fired during the trend. So imbalance is definitely there. Way more sell pressure. Strong sell pressure. Took out one of those block orders. Oh, we're at our demand line on the daily chart now again. It's curious if that was going to get hit today. It did hit it. Here we go. There's 4,600, man. It wants to go through, right? It wants to. It'd be too easy to stop on the on the exact number. There we go. All right, so we made it through. We're at 260K. Very strong volume for the first A period. No real reason for me to get long yet. The market is definitely stretched. The volume is extremely high on this down push though, so like I would suspect continuation of the push unless we start to V. Might get a hesitation though, is kind of what I'm hoping for. A little bit of a hesitation. Some sideways action. I would play a mean reversal just as a snapback, but not for any kind of trend like reversal opportunity. Still trying to go though. Imagine. Had no two-leg pullback opportunities, no mean reversion trades. literally fired multiple times now just off low ones. Very strong move. Very strong move. We're kind of in the middle of our next zone on the hourly chart. Peaking below our demand line. We're still hovering here. I mean, it's a pretty broad area. The swing point's quite important. Especially because that came off of a kind of a failure pattern here and then held, and we did go higher. So see, mark that in. I mean, that's a long ways away. If we drop that far, then I mean, it will be going to 4,500. Lots of business to be done with people, you know, adjusting positions. Lots of selling going on for whatever, you know, whatever reason. Lots of business to be done to the downside. So maybe people are preparing for the busy Fed week, expecting negativity, expecting volatility. Maybe I'd say that we could chalk some of it up to the daily chart, but man, every time the daily chart gives these beautiful failure patterns, it never amounts to anything. The S&P 500 is crazy. You get like clear reversal patterns that only amount to like a small pullback, which generally doesn't even break previous swing points, and then it goes right back up and keeps chugging along. Because again, we have a nice top pattern with some follow through to the downside, but will it actually break below anything important? A little bit of a bounce there happening. We got a little stretched finally. Inside. Got a little bit of pokes below, and then finally got a little buy up happening. It's more of a bullish move than we've seen so far today at all. Looks like this might be our bounce back to the moving average. Got a big 2-bar right now in development on the 5-minute chart. Still a minute and a half left. Definitely a strong bounce so far. I'm not interested in a two-legged pullback, to be honest. This looks, I mean, pretty good. We're testing the moving average right now. The next couple candles are going to be very critical, because we could be, if we can hold in one time 5 candles, we'll be looking real good for the potential start of a V reversal. But yeah, not interested in a two-leg pullback to the short side. Not right now anyway. This more interests me for a potential long if it continues to the upside, showing some imbalance. If it doesn't, this is a pretty good sign that we're starting to find, like, you know, a level where buyers are more interested. Maybe we go into a little bit of accumulation here and put in a bit of a bottom. We'll see how it develops, see what kind of position we want to take. But I will say that I'm not interested in shorting right now. Not yet anyway. So we didn't get the one-time continuation trigger, so that's already ruled out. We are reacting off the moving average. Reacting pretty strong off that first moving average touch, first one of the day. Could be the start of a potential bottom. We'll see if we can accumulate a little bit through here, maybe check below a little bit more, get a bullish signal. Definitely still pressure straight down. So on the 5-minute chart, this was the first candle to actually pull back at all. Definitely looks like it wants to check below. So no V reversal opportunity above the moving average. No two-leg pullback opportunity. Watching here for potential long signal for mean reversion, but not, already slid. So sellers still in control. So no trade opportunities, unfortunately, yet still. We're halfway through B period. What's our volume? I mean, it's we're at 124,000. So the high volume with the push, the continuation is happening. Got a little bit more, some bullish reactioning down here. Some overlapping here. This bullish bar closed higher than the last like 5 candles, 4 candles. It's giving a cheap retest entry here to the bottom. Starting to get lots of overlap and some confusion here. A little bit of both players active. Feels like we're getting closer to that potential spring. Like some of that price action if we could test below it and get a strong signal. We gonna close as a failed breakout here. Can this go green? $10, not looking like it. Nope, not yet. Doesn't look horrible. I like that that 5-minute candle. Looks good on the bottom. Check below it. We are getting quite a bullish reaction now. Didn't form kind of the way we wanted, but the understanding and idea was there for sure. We'll see if we spike up past 89. It's going to be important that we do so, otherwise it's just going to enter a spike then channel formation potentially. Already got a lot more sell than I was looking for off of that potential bottom, so we're back down, basically retesting the breakout entry above the breakout candle. The breakout candle did close below too, so not a huge fan of that. I was ready if this I liked a lot of this bullishness here. If this would have came down and tested below and closed as like a little green hammer candle, that would have been a nice go signal. So no go signal yet, but we do have some price action here that's potentially telling us that buyers are starting to get more interested. Some accumulation happening here. Inside candle close. Maybe we get one more check below, but also if we do, keeping in mind that got to be careful that we don't channel. So we didn't get any type of V reversal opportunity still. No spike off of it. Closed as an inside candle on the 5-minute chart after that, like, you know, potential bottom candle. Checked above it. Gonna remove our channel lines. We got one tick above it so far. That all the steam we got, boys? Inside candle after the push candle. Let's see how this next one develops. I'm gonna break below it quickly. Still not going past that one tick. Really hesitating after that one tick poke. If this market sells off a little bit more aggressive here for a candle or two, we could time it properly for trap traders trying to get long in this reversal. But that would be the only situation. I like that it pulled back only one tick above and failed. Oh, no, we're trying again. Do we get an attempt at a breakout and a failure? Or do we hold? Okay, one tick further. Two ticks. There we go. Okay. So no real failed breakout entry there. Market is holding. We did break above our swing point. Even though it was only by one tick, it did hold a higher low and did extend again. So we're in somewhat of a correction. Well, our analysis of understanding that we were getting some imbalance down here made sense. Worked out nice. 5-minute candle close is playing out with a bit of recovery. No signal down here to get long from. But good awareness that it was trying to form. A little demand line. Micro uptrend and our downtrend. Had our B period close for volume over 200,000 as well. Big volume. Big volume. We might get a one-time entry for the down move here because we had a little micro uptrend. People getting involved to the long side. We'll see. We're breaking below our demand line. That was the biggest, push we've had so far on this move down. Could be we check below again. W maybe? See what happens if we actually achieve a new low, and then if it gets absorbed or if we get any kind of slide potential. But the current context does look okay for another check below maybe. Definitely looks like it wants to. Wants to check the bottom again, potentially go through maybe a failed breakout, which would start our W. This last pullback did have more juice in it than the previous one. Made it all the way back up into that little range too. Well, the low one entry is not going to give me anything. It did a pullback and extension all in the same candle, so was kind of looking for it to stall and then get an entry below it, but that's a-okay. Had to kind of happen right here if it was going to get a risk to reward that I'm interested in, because I'm only looking for it to go a small extension. I'm very interested to potentially see if we get a failed breakout to the downside to get long from. If it forms right. Kind of hesitating here still. We're about to close another candle. Still inside. I guess two situations here. Either this market comes down, gets a breakout to the downside, we get a failed breakout to play a reversal entry off of, or our 5-minute chart holds somewhere here for a high or low and we come up and get a 2-leg pullback. Comes our test of the low. Got any sell blocks? A couple, yeah. There's our test to the low. We broke through. Definitely got a little bit of a slide, so not ideal anymore, to be honest. It didn't really fall through the way that I wanted. So downward pressure could maybe continue. We were stalking that low 1 entry here, but didn't give it to me. Ended up doing the pullback and breakout entry all in one candle. So is what it be. All good. Slid further than I expected now, so failed breakout is not really happening. We're still going down. You're 4,500, man. Maybe it comes true. Small hesitation again. We're getting closer to the bottom level now of this hourly range that we were looking at. Failed at the top side, didn't find anything in the middle. We're getting close to the bottom side now. Yeah, the daily swing low that's there is low was 45.20 and a quarter. Overlapping price action here again. Makes sense. Well, I can honestly say that I've had no actionable trades so far today. I've been stalking a couple opportunities that were potentially close that I was interested in, but nothing formed properly for me. Nothing gave me what I wanted at all. So I've done my job so far today, which is good. Didn't take anything I wasn't supposed to. Didn't miss anything. Getting a lot better at not taking random stuff, but still lacking on the taking everything opportunity part, so. Trying to focus on that. It's a low one opportunity again. Right off the moving average. Looks like we're at least going to test a double bottom, maybe poke through again. Yeah, true. True. My journaling has really shown me that like the entries, I need to not miss them, but 2 out of the 3 strategies are still a little bit too subjective. Like we said earlier, I need to clean them up just a little bit to remove that little bit of indecision time. It's a yes or no, you know, and to pull the trigger. That's it. We getting a little bit of a reversal here, maybe. No good actionable signal down here. We did get a little bit of a buy-up candle, but it didn't give it to me as the failed breakout or anything. But it could form a potential one-time entry here. We're getting good follow-through so far. If we pop up above this 83 swing point here. Broke above it, but not with a good bar so far. See how we close. Close green doji. If we get another candle, it'll qualify. Has to go higher though without going lower still. Basically our breakdown candle here, we ended up with a bunch of overlapping price action. Looks like this market wants to pull back before it continues up still, so not going to end up with a one-time trade either. But understanding that we had a good amount of buys through here, we did get one more push down, which maybe went a little bit further than expected with slides, and then, you know, we're getting buy pressure again, significantly more than we had earlier. It's a pretty big engulf candle. Could be starting to slow. There's no one-time long entry, unfortunately, for me, again, but I'm going to be looking at it as a similar situation as before, where we may now test the bottom or test below and start to try for a W again. Be willing to take a failed breakout of the low. This did break above this little 1 minute swing point though, so there's a possibility this holds a higher low too. Comes right back up and goes higher. We will wait and see what the market gives us. Currently, there's no situation tradable for me though, again. It looks like it's trying to hold a higher low for sure, but whether it does, this is kind of the ideal like follow through of the situation for a high one that was almost, you know, almost qualified for us. I needed one more candle, and then I could have bought the first candle to make a high on the pullback, but Looks good. Didn't quite give me the qualifying requirements. Nice, so it did make a higher low. We did push again. Not getting the greatest follow through. We kind of needed a hold right there for us to continue. Would have looked better. Draw our demand line again. We've done our two-leg correction. This is technically a two-legged pullback, but it's off a reversal and it's not a AAA look or even remotely close. So a failure of this being along above this may be a good trap entry for the push up. Retesting down, didn't squeeze straight up, so could be wrong on that one. Close as an inside candle. Got our high one right there. Second pullback. Do we slide here or do we get bought up quickly? No failed breakout candle. Decent looking 2-bar against that move too. Looks really good. Oh, it's just gonna go. Okay then. Do we break through with any kind of confidence? We double topped so far. There we go. Was watching right here for a potential 2-leg pullback to get long to go into that trap, you know, on this bigger one, because I was, you know, leaning long a lot harder, but it ended up just going. Just squeezed all the way back up in one candle. So none of these 5-minute candles now in the last 20 minutes have went lower. We have made higher highs consistently. The nasty looking 2-bar so far. Three pushes up in this little micro channel. We did attempt to break down once and failed. getting back up closer to our previous swing that we failed from that pushed that low. Kind of a messy approach back up, but it is happening. This line is not important anymore. Do we hesitate at all before we break through? We're right there. Well, it makes sense, right? Kind of had a good idea of what was going on. No actionable trades though. We were stalking a few times. Nothing really that I was like, yep, I want this right now. But context wise, you know, good read, good analysis so far. Stalking the right trades at the right time just haven't really happened. The moves have happened, just not off the, you know, the right candlestick pattern for me to get in from, which is fine. So we're big chillin'. It is a pretty big 2-bar right here on this attempt to break out. 5 minute did close above the moving average so far. May get another push here. The first push though, we achieved what we wanted to achieve. We got above that swing point. So now, does the chart hold and we make another swing high? That's important. Because one thing that could happen, right? We could just break above, test the moving average, you know, finally hit that liquidity point, and then we could one time straight back down. And then anybody trying to go long on this pullback, expecting a trend reversal now, is going to get squeezed out. So we need to see some form of hesitation and pullback that held and went higher for any kind of conviction to believe that this market's actually going to reverse now that we've actually achieved the first swing point. It's down here looking for a long, I play it as a mean reversion to get back to the moving average or to get back to that swing point, but we've achieved that now, so the market needs to hold it for us to get any type of continuation now. Nice. Broke above the other swing point now. It was a good long opportunity, to be honest. I wasn't stalking that hard enough at all. By the time that my eyes saw it, I was not ready. Nice small tight two-leg pullback after the big spike. Beautiful follow through. So now we've broken above another level now. Just barely, but we did. Checked above it. little bit of hesitation now that we've broken up above another swing point. Multiple legs now stair stepping. We could be about to get a little bit of a pullback. We've achieved 2 levels. The next move is, you know, there's a pretty big gap between here and the next level. So if we were going to do a pullback, I would expect it pretty soon. I would be okay with a failed breakout here for a mean reversion back to the moving average for sure. Because yeah, we kind of went straight down through this, so our next larger area is way back up there. So we're into liquidity right now. If we were going to fail for a pullback, it would have to be pretty soon for me. And then I wouldn't be expecting a huge pullback off of it either. Be a nice mean reversion back down. It's not looking like it's going to form for it though. It's trying to keep pushing for now. getting a little bit more bearish looking here. Still no actionable short. She just keeps going long, keeps squeezing up. This two-leg pullback though, the only trade that I missed today now, I would not still be in it, right? Because of the amount of legs up that it did before that fired and we were into liquidity, the next liquidity point was there, like that would have been my target, that first extension exit right there. I mean, it would have been like 3-1, but I wouldn't have held, expecting multiple swings off of that. But that was a miss 100%. Like the two-leg pullback, right? It's like a little bit of a flag. It's the AAA situation is flaggish almost, right? Like even though this was one here, it's not the same thing at all. And I used to just force them in every time. But that flag situation is the AAA version. Still getting a little bit more bearish signals up here, but not to trade off of. This market is now primed too for a small pullback to the moving average and a hold and then a continuation up. Like, looks really good. So we're finally getting our mean reversion entry that we were looking for some form of top here to come run it back. Didn't give me an actionable pattern, but same thing, right? Because of the way it was forming up here, we knew that it was starting to get there. So this will be the first candle to now make a low in this strong recovery push out of that W. Let's test the moving average like exactly on the 5-minute chart now. Pretty big bear candle. Has one timed away from it, eh? To be honest. This is a little bit of a deeper pullback than I would have expected. Maybe telling us a bit of a different story. I would have kind of expected it to try to hold the moving average a little better than it did. It couldn't even stop one timing here for an attempt, which is quite interesting, really. Like this strong of a one-time push after that move up. Didn't form the way that it should have for that pullback, that's for sure. It's swaying my opinion. Wonder if this is gonna play into it at all. We didn't even get hesitation. It's kind of like sellers stepped back in at the, you know, above our swing points before the big push down, which is where it needed to happen, right? We knew there'd be some form of pullback there. But the strength of this is almost, it is making me want to be, you know, a one-time short seller instead. Just because it didn't Didn't follow through the way that it should have. Hmm. Well, we're finding buyers off that demand line again. It's looking pretty trappy. Minute and a half left on this 5-minute candle. So far, we're testing the moving average, but not regaining it. It looks horrible visually for a long, currently. Oh, we got a nice snap there. A little volatility hit right there. That was a lot of orders that went through. It's like buyers stepped in the same spot and said no. And it's already right back down there. Iffy area, man. Iffy area. Was really trying to be patient to see if I could get another trade signal, but I really didn't. The only one that I was given today was this one, and I missed it. I was talking about what I needed to see, and I didn't stock this at all. And then as soon as this candle closed and this one started to go green, I was like, my eyes like clicked, and I was like, there's a two-legged pullback happening right now. And I was not prepared for it, and it just went. Which is the best kind. No re-entry, no nothing. It just goes. It's the way that it should work. Some greasy price action here, really baity. It's been, I mean, it's kind of my cutoff as far as time goes. I don't know that I'm gonna get a trade in now. I don't want to force it. This doesn't look super great. There are both players active. The 5-minute chart's not convincing me though. I was really leaning long on this pullback, but I really wanted to see that pullback hold a little higher and show that demand. Didn't get as much demand follow through as I would have liked to see. We're getting a lot of hesitation right off of this line. Even set up a little 1 minute reversal potential pattern, but then, you know, got real messy overlap here now. Not nice price action, and we're about to go into the lunchtime hour. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do my review of the day, my daily recap here, and I don't want to get caught up in this mess at this time, for sure. It's trying to hold a higher low here, take another swing at the top. Double top to the tick so far. Not really interested in it though. Yeah, I gotta stop looking at it. Don't get baited. We started off this morning with a nice gap down. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, man. Have yourself a good afternoon, dude. Yes. And I'll see you in the morning. Good luck at your meetings. But yeah, we started off this morning with a nice gap down. There was no economic data this morning that we needed to be aware of. Oh, I lost my chart. There we go. So we were just going to kind of go with what the market was giving us. We knew that the hourly chart was in this channel. We were kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. We were like right here. Didn't look good, you know, but we were willing to accept long if it gave it to us. Market pretty much one-timed out of the gates straight down. Now, the only reason I didn't take this one-timing entry here is because, you know, that's not really how I take the trades. Yeah, it was the first opportunity to short in the daily time frame, or like in the cash session, sorry, for this trade session, but, you know, it wasn't a big swing from a reversal. So not really a trade opportunity for me. And the market kept going. We didn't get any nice mean reversion opportunities or any two-legged pullbacks that we were looking for. Market kept going. There was nothing through here. Now, when we got to this point, we knew that we had broken through some nice levels, and we were starting to get a lot of overlapping, lots of bull candles. We knew that there was likely a potential mean reversion opportunity happening through here. Was watching on that next dip for a good failure signal to get long off of. Never got it. Market closed below and then just sprung back up on the next candle. So no trade signal there for me. Although after this candle moved back up in, it did look really good, but the signal never formed below. So nothing happened through here. Was watching to see if this market was going to react like super bullish or give us some sort of reversal pattern up here. Again, it gave us the 2-bar kind of reversal here, so I was watching for that next, you know, flag failure for a rollover. Didn't get it, so no trade. Market started to one-time down, and I was, you know, we were stalking two opportunities here. We said, okay, you know, I'm now interested in potentially a one-timing short to the downside. I'm also interested in potentially failing or fading a failure break of the downside. So I was kind of looking to trade the rest of that move into the pocket and then potentially get long. Now, we did get the qualification for the one-time trade, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did. Now, I was watching for the pullback and a pause, but unfortunately the pullback happened and pushed right back down and extended all in one candle. So the next inside candle and stuff, really, it's not how I wanted to see the trade form. So again, no trade, but price did respect the idea and we did push lower. Didn't get any kind of signal here to get long off of. Was watching. Again, this was an okay buy up candle, but again, we had gone far enough that I was already now expecting potentially a second like opportunity from there. If I didn't get that and the market sprang, then I would try to look for a one-time opportunity to the upside. So we were waiting. The market did give a nice spring, but no qualification for the one-time trade. So market went, hesitated. Now at this point, I was already starting to lean the other way. You know, the market was reacting kind of like we expected. It was messy with not signals that work for me currently, but the context of what I was expecting to see, you know, moving, it was going in the right direction. So I was pretty much changed to long at this point. So when we got this two-legged pullback to the downside, I knew that there was this weird two-leg pullback happening up here, but I was not interested in a short play at this point. I was instead much more interested in getting long down here, which was exactly where it happened from. But again, I didn't get a signal like go bar or anything like that. The market just kind of did a two-legged pullback and then closed below and then sprang right back up. So maybe on a smaller time frame I could have got a signal here, but on this there was no opportunity. I'm just kind of, I need to look back here for a minute because we have a potential two-leg pullback. Beautiful flag here, beautiful flag here. If this closed as a failure breakout, could be a very nice short opportunity. It didn't close as a failure. We'll check back in as the next 1 minute candle is closing. So yeah, did really good with the context of the day and understanding what I was looking for, but during the stalking of what I was looking for, just never got anything. So, I mean, it is what it is, no big deal. Really good analysis on what was happening though, and you know, we'll keep working off that. Now, this was the one trade of the day that did everything I wanted that I missed. 100% a mistake. And the reason that I missed it was because I was literally talking out loud about something else. And I was just like, I wasn't stalking the trade. And I know for me that I need to continually say, you know, okay, this is what context we're in. Am I looking for trade setup 1, 2, or 3? And if so, then, you know, be ready for that trade setup. But I wasn't ready. I was like, okay, the market's giving me, you know, context wise what I need to see. We were talking about a potential pullback happening, and depending on how that pullback formed, it would be a good opportunity to get long, especially if it was a two-leg pullback and yada yada yada. And by the time that this candle closed and this candle started to form, my eyes, like, I refocused onto what I was doing, and it was like, oh man, the pullback already happened and is going, and I'm, you know, I'm still sitting here talking and not really paying attention. So it was just a focus miss, 100% mistake. Wasn't stalking it properly. It was beautiful too, right? Like the small two-leg pullback with the flag after the nice move. I wouldn't have held for this whole move though, because we had so many stair steps and there was 2 swing points. We had already broken above this one. This was the next major one that I knew liquidity would be above, and I was really only going to take it till we broke above there. So this initial 2 candle spike would have been my target right there, especially because I think it only did a 1 tick poke or 2 tick poke above that level. So I would have ditched the trade right there, but it would have played out for a nice like 3-to-1 trade. It was great. And then that was it. We knew that we were above this last swing point on the 5-minute chart. So we had a couple situations that could play out at this point. Either we start to fail from this level and we get a nice mean reversion back down in, or we do a very, very small pullback hold and we continue back up quite bullish, and really there's nothing left now. We're above this point. The next spot's way up here. Might go slow, but ultimately if we didn't fail from this liquidity point, that was the next location we were looking. We did fail though. Didn't set up. We were stalking the mean reversion setup here, but again, talking out loud, I was like, okay, I'm understanding that we're at the right location, and I'm starting to get bearish pressure, and you know, things are starting to look okay for a mean reversion trade, but I didn't get a signal fire candle that I like to see, so no trade setup. So again, nailing the context, but but no signal candle to trade from. So it is what it is. Does look like we went a little bit higher and are trying to fail. We got to break back through this floor now, though, because we went high enough that it wasn't really a failed breakout. But that was it. That was the only true opportunity today that matched all criteria, and I just missed it. It was just I flubbed the bag there for sure because of focus. Tried really hard to, like, I stocked trades so many times today when the context was right, and never got what I was looking for. And then the one time that I did get what I was looking for, I wasn't stocking it close enough. So really goes to show why you let your guard down for just a second and it'll slip right through your fingers. This does look pretty nasty. Little micro uptrend here. Minute and a half left on this 5-minute bar. It's looking like a full engulf bar. I will say that if we one time straight down through out of here and give a one-time entry, though, I would definitely take it. So it is playing into the two-leg pullback flag context right now. Everything does look nice if it played out that way. No failed breakout entry, though, above the accumulation here. Went a little bit higher and then happened. But yeah, good awareness today. Didn't get caught up in a bunch of stuff. Knew what I was looking for. It was almost a perfect trading day. Even if this trade would have lost, if I would have taken it and it would have lost, I still would have called it a perfect trade day because I would have done everything I was supposed to. But there was one mistake today, that being it. So yeah, I'm going to spend the rest of the day. I'm going to do a bunch of review from last month because I am pretty unhappy with my performance through December. Really not staying consistent anymore with taking every opportunity. It's I'm sitting on my hands a lot, and I know it's hard to, I mean, there was all the Christmas trading and like coming off of the Christmas trading and stuff like that, which didn't really give me many opportunities at all. So there was a lot of days where there was just sitting on your hands, no real trade opportunities. So I'm trying to not let that sway my judgment and or make me overthink it. But I know for sure that there was trades in there that I just missed, and I want to go back and try to figure out, clean it up a little bit, because out of the 3 strategies that I have and that I like, 1 out of the 3 is extremely systemized, and I have no anxiety about taking it ever. I win or lose, doesn't matter. I know what it looks like. I know when to put it in, and I know how to manage it. The other 2 are like somewhat iffy. I like them, and I feel like I can manage them pretty well when the trade is on, but the actual getting into the trade is still kind of sloppy. It needs to be more systemized and less objective. That's kind of where I'm at. We did get the nice 2-leg pullback that did follow through, broke down. We do have the prerequisite right now for trap traders. I was kind of holding on to see if it was going to give me a good signal set up to get into. Not so much, really. We never closed below the breakdown level. Yeah, it's not not really giving me what I want. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it, and I'll be back same time tomorrow morning. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.